What's up YouTube? Freaks and Geeks aka NoahC back at it again today for another video for y'all. And today we're going to be talking about the Lawbringer, his effectiveness in combat, his place in the game, how I feel about him in general, and just his overall viability and flaws and what I think that could make him a better character. Not with a rework, but just a few tweaks. So basically the Lawbringer class has always been one of those classes that have just been somewhat iffy. Reason why I say that is because Lawbringer in general is supposed to be known as a tank. So by that right, him being known as a tank, he has to be able to, one, tank attacks, and then two, be able to dish out the same amount of damage, if not more. And I've come to the realization that as far as the taking hits goes and, you know, being able to deal them back out, I think he does that very effectively. One of the things about Lawbringer that makes him so good is his heavy punish parries damage and his light punish parry damage. Like, he has very good damage across the board. It's never been broken. If anything, it's always, to me, Lawbringer, as far as damage scaling goes, been one of the more fair characters among the cast. Only because of the fact that, one, he more or less is just one of those characters that when he was first created, you know, I think his purpose was to be this menacing monster of steel. But why does the Lawbringer always suffer so much in a 1v1 setting? And I will talk about 4v4s later because of course he is a 4v4 character. But by that right, I want to know why exactly in 1v1s does he suffer? And I think I have the solution, honestly. The reason why he suffers so bad in a 1v1 setting is because of the fact that he has no offensive pressure. Now, granted, he is a defensive character. So by that right, him being a defensive character makes him someone where you have to defend. Now in this game where turtling basically ensures you the win majority of the time, the problem with that is if someone doesn't throw out any attacks, then what can Lawbringer do? He sets himself up to be played a lot of the times. And as a character who is supposed to be known as a tank, or by definition, a tank, you know, basically a large massive steel vehicle, you know, something that, you know, takes hits and then deals out even more. He doesn't have that offensive pressure of a tank. You know, I kind of want him to be able to do more as just a character in general. He's not limited by no means. What does make him limited in the sense of his offensive pressure is that from his lights to his heavies, they're all reactable, every last one of them. And the only time that he's ever allowed anything outside of just turtling is when he's counterattacking. Now, again, how can we make him better in the game? So before that, let's try to figure out, you know, what he has in his arsenal. So from his actual layout, he has the light riposte, he has a regular riposte, he has the long arm, and I think he has the shove. So, well, not I think he has a shove, but he has a shove. So with the light riposte basically blinds your enemies once you tap them in the face. And that's a cool idea actually, because off of any type of heavy parry, it sets you up for more mix-up potential. But the problem with that is that, for one, when you have that mix-up potential, unlike Raider where he can go into an unblockable, or he can go into another stunning tap or another light riposte or something like that, he's limited in the fact that he's only allowed to throw out a heavy into an ad mortem, which is a decent mix-up. But again, if someone rolls, that whole mix-up is pretty much just dealt with, and you lose the opportunity to be able to deal extra damage to your opponent. Now, I personally think that because of the light riposte, I think it should be more of an option once you land it. And I know being blind in this game, you know, it offers a lot for the opponent, because most of the time you're trying to fix your eyesight just to see what he's gonna do. But if we have something more that can help him gain that advantage that he worked for by parrying whatever attack he parried, then he should be able to be more viable offensively. And then the next thing we have is the regular riposte. So the regular riposte can be dealt with and be obtained if you parry a heavy, or if someone in the 4v4 setting is not blocking to the left, if I'm not mistaken, because the attack comes out from the right. And if you're able and allow yourself to do that, like let's say if the riposte had omnidirectional attacks like how it is with Shaman or Orochi, then I think that would make Lawbringer more of a threat, because with that being said, he can't necessarily right now try to push someone to the wall unless they're really not looking or they're not being cognizant of the riposte. But the tracking on the riposte is pretty good, and you know, I think the stamina cost shouldn't be changed. I think it's pretty fair for blocking it, considering it's a fast attack and how much it gives you if you land it. And just by the fact and right that if he had omnidirectional attacks with his riposte, he would be more of a threat when you unlock on someone and you try to go catch them, or if someone's trying to play you from afar, like let's say an assassin or somebody like that, you can go from the riposte mix up into a guard break mix up, which I think would be pretty fair. It would actually give him more of a chance to catch your opponent that is actually standing away from you and someone who is actually not throwing out attacks. So that's another tweak that I wanted to be able to do with him. Now another thing, I think the long arm now. So as we get to the long arm in general is one of those moves that has always been a risk to do. There was someone who had said that the long arm should be confirmed or it should be a little bit faster off of certain things, which I think is fair. I think long arm is one of those things that at the lowest level of Lawbringers they start to do because they think, oh, I can just flip them over my shoulder and get them, but then get dodged and then get guard broken. So I think the recovery on it, everything like that should still be the same, but I think it should just be faster. If we can get it to be a little bit faster, from that point forward, Lawbringer will have more effectiveness in opening up somebody who is more or less just sitting there. And let's say in a gank situation, someone that's just trying to dodge out of all your long arms, you'll be able to make them move a certain way a lot quicker, and they'll have to make more of a decision. And now we kind of get down into the topic of his shove. Now with his shove, and this is one of the things that I honestly don't know if it should be gone or not, because Lawbringer right now eats so much off of his shove. It forces somebody to do something, and if done right gives you a confirmed 15 damage. If they're dodging, then it gives you a confirmed 30 damage off of a heavy, and vice versa if you catch him in the guard break. So my thing is that with him being a defensive character, being having basically he's being rewarded for blocking, it's a very good tool. Now, is it a fair tool based off of what is given? More or less. But the only time it becomes rather annoying is when a Lawbringer literally sits there and waits for the shove. And I honestly know why it's like that, and that's because, one, again, it always boils back to him not having any offensive pressure. He has his great damage, but again, he doesn't have the tools needed in order to open people up. The shove from neutral is terrible. It's one of the moves that is very reactable. Only time that it can even be used is on console, and that's if you delay it, which the delay for is a little off, considering the fact that, one, if you delay it too much, you go into a guard break, and if they're not in front of you, you will whiff the guard break. And two, again, all they have to do is sidestep it. Now, the only saving grace to the shove is the fact that you can tag out of it rather quickly if someone goes for a guard break when they sidestep. But if you have a character that has a side dash attack, he is punished most of the time, not all of the time. And I think if, and this is something that was said in the dev stream, if they were to take the shove away, what would Lawbringer be able to do? What direction would they go in? And I honestly think they're trying to give him more tools so that way he'll be more of a viable character in the near future. In the 4v4 setting, Lawbringer is the person that's supposed to sponge the hits, build up points, get his bombs, etc., and get him going. A Lawbringer in a 4v4 setting is very deadly. Actually, probably one of the more scarier characters, considering the fact of how many bombs he has and how fast they regenerate. So if we can get him to the point where he doesn't have to basically boost just to become viable, again, this character would probably be better than a lot of the assassins, and everyone would start to run a Lawbringer on their team. That's the kind of way, the direction I want for this character to go. Same thing with a lot of characters. Everyone should be viable, and there should be more metas arising versus the current metas that we have, which is like a Kensei, a PK, a Shaman, and an Nobushi, which I believe is the best team right now in the 4v4 setting. Based off what I've seen anyway. If anyone has anything different, please let me know. And so now, I just think, upon thinking about all these different things, I want to ask you guys in the comment section, what do you guys think? What do you guys think what direction we should go in when it comes to just a Lawbringer class in general? I'm ready to really make these characters great again. And I was given another suggestion too, actually, now that I think about it. The Lawbringer in particular, what if he had hyper armor? Now, every time I think of hyper armor now, I always think of Berserker. And the reason why I say that is because Berserker in particular is probably one of the more annoying characters to date. Because he literally can start up a chain from far away, and from there can just either abuse a 400 millisecond light chain with the hyper armor on it, or the fact that he can just, you know, go into his unblockable, make you do something, and then go from there. The speed of his attacks with the safeness of hyper armor, his health pool, etc., and his stamina cost allow him to be more of a menacing threat. Now, this is all console talk, so I have no idea how it is for PC when it comes to the Berserker class. But by that right, I want to be able to understand these characters and what they're doing with them. They are more or less characters that, you know, we don't need reworks to be lazy. Berserker's rework was rather lazy. I honestly think it was one of the more unfair ones, considering that assassins aren't supposed to be, you know, a tank. And that was my biggest gripe about the Berserker class in general. Now, to all my Berserker mains, I have nothing against you. I really just don't like the devs for doing that. Now, for Lawbringer being as big as he is, he has absolutely no hyper armor. Which, well, actually he does when you hit him off the shove. But does that really do anything? It's off a shove. Like, the most you will get done to you is, at the most, is 30 damage. And what makes it so good that he doesn't really, well, not that it makes him so good, it makes him so bad that he doesn't have any hyper armor is the fact that, one, you know, a lot of his attacks he has to commit to in order for him to do anything offensively. So the more tools we get offensively for this character, the better it's gonna be when it overall just, you know, he comes out with this new little tweak. I don't really want to call them reworks, because they're not really reworking anything. They're just giving them better things to help make them more viable. But I, honest to God, believe that if we go in the direction of offensive pressure for a Lawbringer, not make his lights faster or anything like that, just an honest to God tweak to make him the tank he's supposed to be. So, but I'm about to run out of time, everybody. So, I just want to know you guys' thoughts in the comment section. If you could, please like and subscribe to the video. If you're new here, please, you know, share this with your friends, etc., Link for the Discord will be in the description. Please join the NoahC fam. And this has been Freaks and Geeks, everybody. And I'm signing out. I will catch you guys tomorrow. I love every last one of you. Thank you for your support. You all have a good day. Deuces.